4 years ago, I sat in the auditorium of my church, surrounded by loved ones, yet feeling the weight of 1,000 silent storms. My children, my fledglings, they were by my side, their young hearts mirroring how I felt. Numbness. We were there for Obon King's service of songs. It was an evening that was meant to celebrate the man who had been the greatest love of my life, the father of my 4 children. As my pastor's words echoed stories of Obong's life and legacy, everything felt surreal. It was like a script that I hadn't rehearsed. How do you bury a love that still breathes in your bones? How do you clap when they sing of a life that you would give anything to hold again? I had to do it, and I did it, and I'm still doing it. I will tell you how. It was faith, not the polished picture perfect kind, but the grittiest, most tenacious kind, the kind that grips God's promises like a lifeline, even when your soul is screaming. That day, I moved through the emotions for my children, but God, He moved mountains for me. His mercies were audacious and still is. His faithfulness was insurmountable and still is. He didn't just keep me from collapsing. He anchored my soul in a love deeper than grief, stronger than death. Today, as I look back, I don't just remember the pain. I remember the God who met me in that auditorium, who sat with me in the numbness, who carried me when my feet refused to move. I remember the one who turned my "how will I survive this?" into a testimony of "look what the Lord has done." The world may call it a memorial, but I call it a monument to Ubong's unwavering love for the children and I in his lifetime, and to my children's resilience, and to a God so faithful, so relentlessly good that even the darkest valley couldn't dim his light. To this day, I still can't fathom the depths of who he is, but I will spend my lifetime worshiping and honoring him for it. How have I navigated these painful but powerful years of his absence? I call them powerful because I have learned some really strong lessons in these years. I will tell you how. It's been audacious mercy. A God so faithful, so relentlessly kind, that he meets you in the crushing weight of grief and whispers, "Breathe, I am here." And he gives you the strength to endure the pain, to endure the how. These years have taught me that loss is not a storm to outrun, but an ocean to sail with God as your anchor and loved ones as your compass. There were days that I doubted. There were days that I raged and wept and feared. But his grace, it never wavered. And my children, they became my reason to keep stepping forward, even when my soul lagged behind. To everyone, I'm making this video for everyone walking this path, whether your loss is fresh, it's lingering, or it's awaiting you in shadows, hold this close. You're not alone. Cling to the God whose depths no words can carry. Lean into the ones who love you, even when you feel unworthy of their light. And dare to believe that joy in time will carve space beside your sorrow. Obong's legacy lives on, not in the pain of his absence, but in the courage he taught me to embrace. My courage is also rooted in God's promise that says, "I will never leave you nor forsake you," and my husband's last words to me and the children. But today I stand here. I sit here, not in sorrow, but in awe of a God who turns ashes into beauty. This is not a lament. This is a love letter to the one who carried us when we could not walk. To anyone watching this, whether you are grieving, whether you're waiting for dawn after a long night, or simply needing a reminder, I want to declare this: God is faithful. Not just in the grand gestures, but in the 1,000 small miracles that rebuild a broken heart. When Ubong left us, fear screamed that the children will falter, that the business will crumble, and the future will shrink. But God, he whispered, "Watch me work." And work he did. 2 of our 4 children are now in the university. They are working in the integrity and determination that their father modeled for them. The third one is getting ready to join her older siblings. And the youngest is about to transition to the next level of her secondary education. The business that we founded as a channel to build our family legacy has not only survived, but it is stabilizing. It is a testament to God's enduring love and Ubong's legacy. None of this is my doing. I can never take the glory. It's the insurmountable faithfulness of a God who keeps his promises. A God who says he will do it and he does it. My husband's last words to me were, "You and the children will never see shame." Those words were not just a wish. They were a prophecy. God has shielded us. God has guided us. And he has poured out blessings that we couldn't have imagined in our darkest hours. This video isn't about masking pain. It's about magnifying the God who replaces pain with purpose. If you're walking through loss, please hear this. Your story, it's not over. The same God who parted seas for me can turn your desert into springs of hope. Cling to him. Let others carry you when your knees buckle. And dare to believe that joy will meet you, not as a replacement for grief, but as proof that love and legacy outlive even death. Today, I raise a hymn of gratitude for my children who can laugh again, for the business that bears Ubong's name with honor, for a God who never once looked away, not in my anger, not in my fear, not in my trembling, barely existent prayers. The Lord is close to the brokenhearted. That's the promise of God in Psalms 34:18. But he doesn't leave us broken. He rebuilds, he restores, and he reminds us that death does not get the final word. Ubong's legacy lives in every graduation rope, in every business milestone, and there's been quite a number of them, in every moment that we chose joy over despair. So let me say it again. God is faithful, not because life is perfect, but because his love is. And in that love, we find our reason to sing. So today, I worship, not because the grief is gone. Anyone who has experienced the loss of a loved one, who understands the undulating nature of grief and understands that grief is lifelong, will understand what I'm talking about. We only learn to live with the grief, but because God's faithfulness remains, we are not broken. And in that truth, we can find our way home. This is a video that I decided to do in joyful memory of Ubong King, a husband that will never be forgotten, a life that still speaks, and in gratitude and in honor to a God who still saves. Thank you very much for listening, and I hope that this will encourage a lot of you that are going through storms. Please share this video as wide as you can. Click on the subscription button and share your story in the comments. I would love to read from you. Let's strengthen each other. Thank you very much for listening, and God bless you. God bless you.